Eric Bakker, the naturopath. We're back again with another video. Years and years just roll by, don't they? What's Candida brain fog? What causes brain fog? How do you deal with it? Why does it affect everybody so differently? No two people seem to be affected the same with brain fog. After working with a lot of Candida patients, I can tell you now, some people don't even get brain fog. Other people have it so bad they can barely drive a car. They end up in the emergency room. I've had people crying in my room that their head was full of cotton wool and they couldn't think properly. That's brain fog. Now, brain fog is a little bit different from being hungover. It's different from a headache, or it's different from any kind of head experience you might have had, because there are different types of brain fog. So let's explain. So Candida loves sugar. We know that. It thrives in the gut, and it can in some people thrive in the bloodstream and in different parts of the body, even in the joints. It can thrive in many different places. But Candida creates many problems for people. It creates various toxins. It creates in particular this stuff called acetaldehyde, which is a byproduct from Candida. So now the body can mop up acetaldehyde quite successfully, especially if the liver is highly active, especially if the person is not drinking a lot of alcohol or involved in a toxic occupation that puts a big hit on the liver. Because the liver is a huge, big organ that cleans the bloodstream, and it needs to deal with acetaldehyde efficiently. So when it builds up, particularly if we've got a lack of acetaldehyde dehydrogenase, or the enzyme that breaks it down, it can affect our brain. So the toxins produced by yeasts can create problems in their own right, and the acetaldehyde can create problems. Acetaldehyde also can create a problem, and then it starts requiring more and more B vitamins to metabolize. So particularly thiamine or B1 deficiency can be quite common with high acetaldehyde levels. Some cultures don't genetically lack sufficient acetaldehyde dehydrogenase to break those levels down, and that can create facial flushing with some people. So you can see some people, they flush up in the face or around the nose when they drink a lot of alcohol, and that's often a lack of that enzyme. But a lack of B1 or thiamine is a big problem in brain fog for a lot of people. We see it in I think it's beriberi, or in a B vitamin deficiency disease, we see it. So if we look at the very subtle signs of B1 deficiency, many severe Candida cases have this. And some of the subtle signs in particular include what we call paresthesia, or like a tingling or numbness, just a funny sensation. Could be in a couple of fingers, could be in the hand. You could pick up sometimes something and drop it, like you haven't got that grip strength anymore, because the peripheral nerves require a lot of thiamine or B1 to function properly, and it's not hard to get a slight B1 deficiency. You'll find this with heavy drinkers, moderate to heavy drinkers, but you'll also find it with Candida patients. And it's this thiamine thing that can really create a problem. So B vitamins will often sort that out, but not if the Candida is fed constantly by sugar, junk food diets and things like that. So another issue with the acetaldehyde is what it does to the cognition, but this, coupled with the B1 deficiency, it can make a person really irritable and cranky as well. It can just make life very unpleasant for that person, and literally like they're walking around in a fog all day. And it's cruel, because many people actually don't believe what the brain fog patient says. So how do you deal with brain fog? Well, the first thing you do obviously is try and determine if you've got a yeast infection, particularly in the gut or systemically. So the stool test is still, in my opinion, the best test to determine if live viable yeasts are coming out of the body. That coupled also, of course, with the questionnaire. If you look at the questionnaire we have on yeastinfection.org, that'll give you a good understanding if yeast is a problem. Look at the signs and symptoms that have been developing. If the brain starts coming into it, and the paresthesias, the numbness, the weakness, the irritability, the lack of appetite, the poor sleep, the mind basically just goes on you, with some people very bad with Candida. But it can be remedied. But the yeast has to be dealt with first if it's a problem. So if you want to deal with brain fog effectively, you've got to work out if you've got a yeast infection. And if you haven't got a yeast infection, see what's going on, in terms of other signs and symptoms, or get checked out by a healthcare professional. But many cases of brain fog I have seen were turned around and the patient no longer suffered from it, particularly once they got their gut cleaned right up. And that's what you can do, clean up the gut, correct that B vitamin deficiency, and see what happens. It's quite amazing. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, if you like these videos, like them and please subscribe. Thank you.